Greetings, my fellow nightside souls. James Golden here, and with gift-giving season in full swing, I thought we might examine that rarest and most precious of gifts, the heart and its Azothic misuse. Love, a thing that has brought many to ruin and a precious handful back from the shores of death. Tonight, we undress the mysteries surrounding the Galatea. Welcome to Blacklist Redacted. Let's get into it. Galatea, the Muses. Humor, sanguine, courageous, amorous, element, air, word of truth, logos, understanding, judgment. I'd make myself ugly if it meant you would touch me. Beauty is only skin deep. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty for the Muses, the descendants of mythical Galatea, is everything. And in every witty turn of phrase, there's a gleaming diamond of truth. Each one of these created is stunning. They are each objectively gorgeous, each cut from the cloth of Aphrodite and Adonis, yet each plagued by disquiet, as all Prometheans are. The eye of the mortal is drawn even as the Azoth of the Muse repels, and the end result, more often than not, is discomfort and ambivalence. Each of the Galateids was made for one purpose: to love and be loved in every possible meaning and experience of the word. Yet their beauty is not enough to hide the crackle of pyros that shimmers beneath the surface of their being. Inevitably, through their need for social interaction in society, they'll be discovered for what they are. Here's one that might surprise you. These are not supermodels. Despite looks that could kill, many Galateids struggle with social graces. Things that mortals take for granted, such as a common tongue and knowledge of humor, comedic timing, attraction, are often brand new delights to a muse, things to be figured out and stumbled over. Should one form attachments and attraction to another, an all too common occurrence, they still must find a way to express how they feel without disquiet poisoning the encounter. In this, their very nature acts against them, for blood is the driving humor of their animated bodies. It drives the muse to crave and enter human society and carries them along their pilgrimage like a great red river. It grants them the ability to be optimistic in circumstances that would drive many a Promethean to despair, and spirits their being with hope when all looks lost. Yet it can also make them irresponsible and prone to indulging their desires at inopportune moments. O sanguine nature, and where have we seen your likeness before? When taken by torment, that same sanguine nature makes them dangerous, both to themselves and others around them. Their amorous desire to be close to mortals propels them into humiliating behavior, acting like animals in heat and attempting passion in a manner unacceptable by mortal standards. Sometimes they take their desires by force, unaware in the instant that they are causing irreparable damage to the relationships that they've worked so hard to build. When of sound mind, this need to be around mortals manifests in different ways. Some Galateids throughout history have only shown themselves to select mortals at very specific times, and in doing so, cultivated the image of divine visitation. The nickname Muse is one the Galateids strive to be worthy of, and sometimes they succeed. A number of notable historical figures have claimed to be visited by a muse. Shakespeare had his mysterious Dark Lady. Hesiod was visited by beings of inspiration atop Mount Helicon, and Dante Alighieri, writer of the Divine Comedy, found his muse in the living, or so they say, Beatrice. The progeny of Galatea do their best to inspire, and for many, that's enough. As one might expect, the body holds great meaning to the Galateids. They hone their physical forms, sculpting their bodies and animating muscles, seeking something approaching perfection. They pamper themselves, bathing more often than Prometheans of other lineages and indulging in sensual pleasures as well. But though they can take part in sex, the act is cold for them. Their bodies are sterile and rarely produce feelings of bliss or love in the Promethean. Yet another cold reminder of their monstrous natures. When a muse decides to create another Galateid, there's a process to follow. The chosen corpse must be young and beautiful. They cannot be marred or brutalized by the circumstances of their death. From there, the muse dissolves a precisely measured mixture of pearls and lime sand in a bath of wine vinegar and aromatic herbs. The beautiful cadaver is soaked into the mixture long enough for the body to become infused with preservatives and minerals. Then, placing the body somewhere sacred, the muse kisses the corpse, infusing that touch with divine breath and Azoth. The newly born creature of exquisite beauty opens its eyes, its very first sight, and experience the eyes and lips of its maker. With such an introduction to life, it's no surprise that the relationship between Galateid and their progeny is complicated. Many of those relationships sour quickly. The new spawn has all the desires of the maker, and then some. After all, they're brand spanking new. They'll need society, they'll need love, they may need a friend, an ally, a mentor, a lover on the pilgrimage. Roles that the creator may not be ready to fulfill. Codependency, emotional abuse, these are common things for the Galateids, and creators finding themselves all of a sudden in paternal or partnership roles may experiment with forms of abuse to gauge reaction. When it comes to perception on the pilgrimage, the Muses don't exactly have it easy. Many of the other lineages view the Galateids as irresponsible flirts, driven by their lusts and passions, or on the other extreme, as cold, arrogant, selfish. There's a reason for that, although I don't think it does any of the Galateids any good. Ugliness repels the Muses, and the true forms of most Prometheans are hideous. Pair that with the fact that Galateids see the divine breath animating them as proof of the favor of the gods, and you have a recipe for ego. After all, most of the other Prometheans cannot claim a divine origin. Pygmalion was not so much a demiurge, many argue as a medium, a vessel through which the divine breath was passed down from the heavens. Still, when a muse devotes themselves to a branded throng, they quickly find common ground, despite their lofty origins. The throng is a society that not only can sustain them on their quest for mortality, but one with a need for the muse's unique sanguine humor. The constant aura of sanguine hope that exudes from a Galateid aids the society. After all, their business is inspiration, and the created need inspiration as much as they need air, lest they fall from lofty course. Let's talk about that mythical demiurge, Pygmalion, and the genesis of Galatea. The most commonly told story indicates a man sickened by the behavior of the women on the island he called home. Disgusted, he retreated into solitude to live a bachelor's life, but in his spare time, he crafted a life-size statue of a beautiful woman. Gradually, Pygmalion came to love the statue like a real woman, dressing it, kissing it, sleeping with it in his bed, and falling strangely in love with it. He prayed to Aphrodite to make this ivory maiden real, and the goddess answered his prayers, transforming the sculpture into a real girl. They married, lived happily ever after, and had a son together named Paphos. Knowing what we know about Promethean, we can immediately tell that this tale has layers. The stories the Galatea tell one another have a few rather interesting differences. In one version, Pygmalion was a lowly man, lacking both social graces and property. Worthy of no wife, he grew bitter and sought a way to create one who would love him. But no matter how he tried, each attempt failed. Ivory, marble, clay, all failures. Success came with a new idea, one born of the death of the most beautiful woman on his island. Pygmalion used a ritual still practiced by Galateids today and infused the corpse with divine breath. Again, they remained together, and though they could have no children, they created Paphos, the first true Promethean of the Galatea lineage. Yet a third version of the story tells that the maiden was the bride of another, brought to the island by her husband-to-be. Pygmalion, ever the character, spirited her away, but secretly, she desired this. She was in love with him. Yet in this, the fates had other ideas. Tragedy would strike, this time in the form of a venomous snake, ending the maiden's life. The sculptor went out and learned a ritual from a Thracian witch and attempted to bring his love back to life, but instead a new being was born in her body. This was not the woman he loved, and he grew to resent her. This was a blank slate of a creature, one that did not understand or deserve Pygmalion's growing hatred. He mistreated her, used her as a doll. And one night, in his sleep, she strangled the demiurge and fled the island. Somewhere along the line, before gaining mortality, she created Paphos. There are almost no surviving stories of Paphos beyond the founding of a city bearing his name. Save the Galateids themselves, there's no real evidence that any of these stories are anything more than myth. Yet some tales, told in small Promethean gatherings, indicate that Paphos may have continued on for hundreds of years before vanishing. Unlike Frankenstein, few believe it possible that he could have survived, endured, maybe a better word, into the present. Galateids are uncannily beautiful, but beauty is an ephemeral construct tied to societal customs, cultural ideas, times. Wouldn't that make creating something that is eternally beautiful impossible? To an extent, yes. When a muse makes another of their kind, often they seek out corpses that are beautiful in a way that was current when they were created, which means that although unquestionably gorgeous, many of the Galateids appear slightly outdated or unfashionable. The older the maker, the more likely the muse is to struggle with current ideas of beauty and fashion. To offset this, the divine breath lends their skin a gorgeous, healthy glow, although often a few shades paler than it should be. They never tan, they never burn, and they are always of a flawless complexion. Their hair appears thick, shiny, healthy. Their teeth appear perfect, producing a mesmeric smile. They are memorable, beautiful people who stand out in the crowd. And not just because they're strikingly attractive, though of course they are. It's because they are like no one else. However, it is only when the Azoth burns in their favor. When it doesn't, disquiet turns their beauty into something monstrous, something disturbing to witness, turning love into hate. In those moments, when a Promethean's true nature becomes visible, muses look artificial, like mannequins or dolls, yet another nickname. Their skin reflects light like marble or polished stone, and their eyes turn glassy and dead. Their hair looks like a wig, and their skin becomes bone white or polished ebony. Worse, the divine breath that animates them becomes visible as they breathe, cold little puffs of air tinged with blood. On the pilgrimage, a Galateid may practice many refinements, but a few are more promising than others. Mercurius is attractive, as the refinement of Quicksilver seeks to help a Promethean understand themselves, both physically and alchemically, and is more than willing to answer any troubling questions that spring up along the way. Aurum is equally attractive, as the Muses seek to get as close to humanity as quickly as possible, with as few incidents as possible. Ferrum attracts the Muse, who would focus on perfection of form as a precursor to becoming human. Very few Galateids practice Cuprum, as the isolation and retreat from society holds little interest to them. Also, it further complicates the regaining of Pyros through sleep. When it comes to character creation, the Galateids unsurprisingly prioritize social attributes, though they struggle a bit more with social skills. Even when a muse is world-shakingly beautiful, rarely do they know how to capitalize on such. Physical skills, however, are a must. Galateids value their bodies and often concentrate on honing them, while mental skills often prove difficult to land without instruction. Social merits are rare, the exception being striking looks, which is common among the Muses. They are drawn to the virtues charity and hope. Charity represents their ability to give what they lack: love, attention, affirmation, while hope represents their dreamer mentality, a naive belief that love can redeem them and that beauty can lead to belonging. For vices, many Galateids possess lust or gluttony. Lust represents a sort of internalized objectification, a willingness to engage in seduction, charm, or emotional manipulation to feel desired, while gluttony represents the Galateids' craving for experience, be it sensation, attention, validation, affection, or admiration. Many want more, trying to fill the void where a soul should be. Lover, child, friend, muse, the Galateids dance through Saturnine night in search of those elusive experiences that will see a soul blaze to life within. Their sanguine nature spurs their tortured existences, driving them ever onward. Hedonistic, obsessive, capable of tremendous impulse and courage, the Galateids seek the refinements that would lead them to the promised dawn. Once again, thank you for joining me here on Blacklist Redacted. My name is James Golden, and I seek to unravel with you the mysteries that abound within the wicked world of darkness. Join me next week as we dive into the still waters of mysticism and god ritual to unravel the Osiris. Until next time, treasure the love you are given, hold fast to your humanity, and remember, bright may be the day, but sanguine is the night.